Hi class. Today I am doing the case study, Break the Silence, Make the Call. It's talking about reaching out to the victims and families of domestic violence. This case study starts off with a story from a girl named Kimberly. She was 18. She was marrying her high school sweetheart. And sadly, 2 weeks prior to their wedding, she was hit. He punched her in the arm, and she assumed that it was because of stress. They were getting married at such a young age, and she didn't know that was going to be the rest of her life. So for the next 9 years, Kimberly's husband had convinced her that his violence was her fault, and the reasoning for him attacking her was because of her, and it's not. Kimberly never filed a police report. She never told her friends, family, coworkers. She hid her bruises from doctors even. And despite all of this, she said that she had a public image. People looked up to her and her husband, and they said, oh, well, we want to be you and we want to be like y'all. Like, your relationship is so sweet and pure. But little did they know what she was going through. And they were active in their church. Her husband was well known. And she had plans to escape, but it wasn't easy for her. Now, she did have a happy ending, but a lot of abusive and domestic violent relationships don't always end that way. She made the hardest decision of her life and moved to a family violence shelter. And, most women, they don't know how to get out of these. In 2010, 1,095 women were killed by their male partners nationally. And, a lot of this is because of physical assaults, rapes, sexual violence, many different types of abuse. And the government states that 22% of intimate violence cases were witnessed by a child. I mean, imagining a young child seeing this abuse, it's emotionally scarring for them, could possibly or potentially give them the wrong idea about, a relationship or having that love. They obviously probably don't have that at home because of this, only maybe getting it from their mothers. But in this case too, the women may not be the only ones getting abused. The children could be getting abused as well too. So that's something we really had to look at and, see about. Some of the research key findings were that 74% of women said they or someone they knew had an experience or have experienced it of domestic violence. And 31% had suffered severe abuse. 84% believe that they could personally make a difference on the issue. And with that being said, we talk about the campaigns, reaching out to different groups and, bringing awareness to the communities. Victims rarely knew how to leave safely. The abuse was not normal and never deserved. They didn't deserve to be beat or pushed down. Victims were often unaware of the impact the abuse had on their children's behavior. That was something that really stuck out to me as well, because these children may be going to school and they may be scared of other things, or they could be doing violent actions at school and possibly committing suicide. A lot of women either have committed suicide because of the relationship they've been in, or they just don't feel like it's worth it, like being here anymore. Leaving an abusive relationship required tremendous courage. And there's also crucial differences in the cultures. In Texas, most of the focus groups that were talked about in this case study were Hispanic victims. And those people majority of them experienced the same pain and agony that they went all through. They revealed that there are 4 different focus groups. Isolation, which is common. Most of these people don't have a way to reach out to others. They feel like they're by themselves. They feel like they're alone. And that's the thing. You're not alone. There are so many people out in the world that either have gone through it or are going through it, and they can relate to you. Fear and threats. Most of these women feel threatened by their abuser if they were to report them, or they may even, if they have children, they'd be separated from them and they would never see them again. The children may go to different facilities or foster homes. Shame plays a big part of this too. Most of the Hispanic culture, the women have been taught to value and keep the families together at all cost. So the fear of rejection from those people that really want them to hold that bond together, and the lack of awareness. Most women may not know that there are groups out there that are helping and want to be there and support these women that have gone through abusive relationships. That brings me to the campaign strategies. So there was a campaign that was Break the Silence, and it included survivors of family violence, friends and family touched by family violence, and local celebrities that have decided to become a part of this campaign and bring awareness to the communities. Region isolated and trying to get to these women where they may not be able to see things. Something that we see is that the wives or the girlfriends may not have access to computers or technology because of their abuser. So a way to get to these women are by business cards or flyers around town. A woman had a business card that she kept in her shoe for almost 2 years before she made her call about her domestic violence. And if a way to get these cards out or flyers is to put them in public women's restrooms, hairdressers, grocery stores, break rooms, doctor's offices, different places like that. That way they can see and get the help that they need. There is a television campaign that was put out, and it was a Hispanic woman that was attractive, and she was very high class and educated, and she showed that, you know, that made awareness that it doesn't matter how educated you are or if you never went to school, that you're not, everyone is going through the same thing or something similar. So that was something that, you know, it really helped with the social status and allowing for these women to see that there's someone out there just like them and what they're going through. So to conclude this presentation, the Break the Silence campaign really increased the calls and from the hotlines, from different things. 93% were Spanish calls and 60% were English language calls. And the tagline, Break the Silence, Make the Call, shows 70% of respondents could recall that tagline and could recall 3 definitions of domestic violence compared to 50% prior to the campaign. So this campaign really did show that it helped, and it was able to bring out awareness and show these women that it is okay to reach out for help. That is the best thing to do. And according to the Texas District and County Attorneys Association, in 2010, 147 women were killed, and there were 193,505 incidents of family violence in Texas. So, slowly but surely, the numbers have been going down. Family violence has declined from 185,299 to 182,087 incidents from 2004. And the number of women killed also declined from 154 to 116 in 2004. this is something we need to bring about and address. And I hope that as we go into the future years that we can bring and stop domestic violence with women and men. Thank you.